Hello everyone and welcome back to the Heavy Heart Show. This is Michael. Wanted to discuss the topic of shadow banning with you guys. Shadow banning is something that people usually use as basically an alternative to the word banning. And I understand, this new term comes out, people are like, oh, I got shadow. Oh, you're shadow banned, and it sounds cool. But, I'll admit, it kind of does sound cool. But, shadow banning is not the same thing as a regular ban. And let me explain why. When someone is shadow banned, they don't know that they're banned. Because they're not banned. So, let's say I had a profile on X, let's say. And it gets shadow banned, let's say. I would still be able to log on to X and post and like posts and do all that. Right? So that's automatically not the same thing as a ban. Because with a ban, it'll tell me your account is closed, submit an appeal, but goodbye. That's what it would say. But if I'm shadow banned, I can log on. I can post. I can like. I can comment. I can do anything on the site. But what I'm banned from is the algorithm in that scenario. Or if someone is shadow banned, what they're really banned from is the algorithm. Because if you're not in the algorithm, you basically are never seen. And that's pretty much how it is. So, and I'm not even going to go into that whole, you can open a whole can of worms and go down a rabbit hole with that. I'm not gonna. I'm just going to talk about shadow banning today. But yeah, so shadow banning is basically that. It's not taking out someone's account, but it's taking out the effectiveness of someone's account by taking them out of the algorithm. So, let's say, when you're on any real social media and there's a For You page and it's of people you don't follow, someone who is shadow banned really won't show up in any of those For You pages, right? They'll only show up on follower page, people who follow them, and even that only sometimes, because they can just remove follower counts as well. So yeah, that's really what a shadow ban is when, and that's why it's called a shadow ban, because you don't know that you're banned. It's like it happens in the darkness. You don't know. You would have no idea. So put it this way, anyone nowadays who's saying they got shadow banned, they don't know for sure. There's not a single person who knows that for a fact, unless they work at really high up at a social media company. But other than that, there's no real way to know, because if you did know, you'd be guessing, because they're not going to tell you you're shadow banned. And if you were, I feel like it's important to know shadow banning from regular banning, because regular banning, it's it's out in the open, people can see that you're being silenced if that's what's happening. Sometimes people, need to be silenced. I hate to say it, but sometimes people need to be disciplined a little bit. They're saying terrible, terrible things, wishing violence on other people, promoting filth, things like that. Yeah, ban them. And everyone's kind of cool with that. And if someone gets banned for a bad reason, it's public and we can all debate if that was the right thing to do. But if it's a shadow ban, it's all done secretly. And so millions of voices can be silenced at basically the snap of a finger. That's why, and I think that already probably has happened before, but whatever. But, yeah. That's what I wanted to share with you guys, because, we should be aware of these things. Because there are some people in power that are not your friends. So, yeah, if you hear, someone saying like, oh, I got shadow banned, be like, hey, no, you weren't. Because, first of all, show me like you getting hundreds of thousands of interactions and then getting like 2, and then you're shadow banned. But, or even a couple hundred. But if your activity drops significantly, your follower count starts dropping, and no one can see you anymore, it's very possible you're shadow banned. It's possible, but you can't know it. So, anyways, I'm repeating myself. I hope this information is useful to you guys, and I'll see you on the next episode.